What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with Dark Outpost, and all of these still so-called rumors that Lucasfilm has yet to officially confirm, but everyone's kind of treating as legit, with Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, have been swirling around for a while. But then a couple days ago, we got this report here, exclusive. Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka Tano contract is a Disney Plus multi-show deal. And I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that, even though I'm kind of late on the story itself. But as far as what it means for Disney Star Wars going forward, making the decision to go all Ahsoka all the time, and why I get why they might want to do that on the surface, I don't think that it's going to work out for them the way they think. When you just take this small sample and look at what's going on right now with The Clone Wars Season 7 and people's reaction to that, people's reaction to the first of two Ahsoka arcs in this season, I think that's a little bit telling. So let's get into this article and break down what it means and why I think that's a big mistake for them to just go ahead and try to throw Ahsoka into every single project that they do. Again, from thedirect.com right here. Lucasfilm is investing heavily in Disney Plus as the platform for the future of Star Wars content. Following the launch of Disney Plus' first live-action series, The Mandalorian, it was revealed by Jon Favreau that its second season was set to release in fall of 2020, with Bob Iger, who was the Disney head at the time, announcing October 2020 as its premiere month. Alongside the return of Din Djarin, aka Mando, and the Child, more commonly known as Baby Yoda, the Star Wars universe will expand further on Disney's streaming service with an Obi-Wan series and a Cassian Andor series. Now, again, we recently got news that Cassian Andor will happen sometime in 2021 and Obi-Wan projected in 2022. At this point, with all the delays going on and the fact that both of those stories have had huge writer problems, they've had to restart a lot of stuff. Who knows if these will ever actually come out? Let's be really honest, but that's what they're scheduled for. The Star Wars universe will also look to adapt fan-favorite characters in their Disney live-action series, right? Because they need these characters to carry Star Wars. They need the fans to be invested in something because they're having problems creating something of their own, with the exception of a ripoff of Yoda, which is Baby Yoda. No one really cares about Din Djarin. Let's be real. This show is now all about Baby Yoda. As the direct outlined earlier, Rosario Dawson is reportedly set to appear in Season 2 of The Mandalorian as a live-action version of Ahsoka Tano, the adored Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels character. It's rumored to potentially lead up to her own live-action Disney Plus series as well, and now it says she could appear in multiple Star Wars live-action series on Disney Plus. According to this insider, the Ahsoka Tano contract is reportedly a multi-show deal, kind of like the MCU, going to appear in multiple things. So she could appear in Cassian Andor. She could appear in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. That's kind of their plan going forward, according to a lot of reports and things we've heard from multiple other people as well, rather than just this actual official article. What this means: if she does end up appearing in not only The Mandalorian and her solo series, but other Disney Plus shows, it would speak to the investment Lucasfilm is making in both their live-action series and their character. Again, they're talking about the MCU. But the end goal there was to create a cross-connected universe, and now it's been established. The payoff has been immense. Could Lucasfilm be hoping to achieve the same with the Disney Plus series? And that's kind of the thing that I think is ridiculous, to put all your eggs in this Ahsoka basket. And I think this is problematic, not to use a problem, that term, but I think it's problematic for Lucasfilm in a couple of different ways. One, we know that Ahsoka is a huge part of Clone Wars Season 7, and these last 3 episodes that have been Ahsoka focused have left a lot lacking for a ton of people. Again, these are stories that have been changed slightly by Disney and by Dave Filoni. And now we've all been told by all the actors involved that Dave has had full creative control of all these decisions, but it's left fans wanting a lot more. Now, I do think you're going to have a big payoff in the Siege of Mandalore, just because Maul's going to be back, and they're going to milk Maul for all he's worth, milk Ahsoka for all she's worth in the Clone Wars. But when I think of this, could she appear in a Cassian Andor series, and that kind of makes sense? What they've done with Star Wars Rebels is made Ahsoka basically the key to starting the rebellion, one of the key factors in starting the rebellion. They took this character again. I don't know how many times I've had to play this clip, but you can't hear it enough, because this really tells you some things about Dave Filoni and about George Lucas and their views on Ahsoka.
I don't think it's a mystery that I've always been a bit more in the Ahsoka Lives camp. And George has been very full on in the Ahsoka dies camp. I think I've said that before, if not revelation for you.
So you can see from that clip that even Dave says it himself, and he says it's not a surprise to anybody that George Lucas always wanted Ahsoka to die during Order 66, whereas he wanted her to live on. And of course, we know the end result. Ahsoka did live on once Filoni got control. And so that being said, she lives on and she becomes a huge part of creating the rebellion. It makes sense Cassian Andor, someone who has been known to be a part of the rebellion as well, you know, at its beginnings like that, as an agent, it would make some sense if she showed up there. I can understand that. If you want to get that, pull in the Ahsoka fans, pull in that attention, okay. The Obi-Wan series, you can't tell me that she meets Obi-Wan during this point. I have a really hard time believing it. I guess it would have to depend on the frame of the time frame. But you're telling me if Ahsoka comes across Obi-Wan, they're not going to talk about, oh, I don't know, Anakin? Oh, you know, they're not going to talk about the fact of who Anakin became, the fact that Darth Vader's running around there in the world now, that Obi-Wan knows exactly what happened to him. We saw that moment, the Ahsoka Vader face-off, where she finally finds out that that actually is Anakin under the mask, and the huge reveal that that was. And of course, she should have died right then and there, but that's not what happened because Dave Filoni can't allow her to die. Can you, Dave Filoni? You had to literally create time travel in Star Wars to have Ezra Bridger save Ahsoka Tano. And I think that, again, that is a huge problem. One of the many problems that Ahsoka has caused, just for them forcing this character down our throats. Now, with her showing up in The Mandalorian now, 5 years after Return of the Jedi, again, one of the things I think that does is say, wow, how did Ahsoka not seek out Luke Skywalker? How did no one ever talk about this? Ahsoka created so many problems because she was given such a prominent position and a prominent part of the story in the Clone Wars. And again, I do think Rosario Dawson would do a great job as an actress for Ahsoka. I don't have any problem with Rosario Dawson playing the part. I think she fits. I know a lot of people want Ashley Eckstein to play her, but let's be real, Rosario Dawson has so much more experience as an actor, regardless if she's the voice of Ahsoka or not. Ashley Eckstein does not have very much live-action experience at all, especially in recent years, especially if they're going to be asking her to do any kind of stunts or anything like that. We know what Rosario Dawson has done in the past. But to me, putting all of your eggs in this Ahsoka basket is just not a good idea. Again, I'm someone who I think Ahsoka is fine, but I kind of get tired of her being shoved into everything. We talked a little about Filoni before. Filoni even said after The Rise of Skywalker, and all these voices are heard at the end, all of these dead Jedi talking to Rey before she decides to, you know, really get up and stand up and face Palpatine. Ahsoka's in there. And Dave Filoni came out and said, well, you're kind of dumb. You must not have really paid attention to Star Wars if you think she's dead just because you heard her disembodied voice. We've heard disembodied voices in Star Wars before. It doesn't mean people are dead. He can't give up his character, and evidently Disney refuses to move off Ahsoka. They are going to milk her for all she is worth. And as a lot of people are finding out with these couple episodes of the Clone Wars coming out on Disney+, they might not like what's going on with Ahsoka Tano. So I would be cautious if I were them, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Again, I know Ahsoka Tano is a popular character, but I think people, what they really want from Disney Star Wars is for them to start creating stories and characters that stand on their own and aren't required to be propped up by a fan favorite character or by a cheap gimmick like Baby Yoda. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear yours. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.